So thank you for your time this afternoon. I look forward to today's session on question-based selling. So how many of you would like to sell more? Decrease your cycle time. Increase your conversion rate. Fantastic, that's why we're here. Welcome to question-based selling. So there's lots of different sales techniques out there. I found that this one is the easiest to implement and the fastest to get things moving. So this will kind of be the first stage, and then other things will build onto that, okay? So first, a little bit about Action Coach. Action Coach is the world's largest business coaching firm in the world. We've got over 1,000 coaches worldwide, and we coach almost 900,000 businesses over the last 27 years. BS in engineering and MBA in marketing, NLP practitioner, best-selling author. I have to include that best-selling author, speaker, and NLP practitioner. I've not only read the books, but I've done the work. I ran 2 sales organizations for a Fortune 50 company. What I'm going to go over today is proven over and over and over again. So a little bit about learning. So first of all, everyone's familiar with left brain, right brain. Words, math, logic, short-term memory. So when we read a book, it's words, it goes into short-term memory. Unless we convert it to pictures, and then it goes into long-term memory. How many of you would like to increase your reading comprehension by 30% starting today? Excellent. So here's a suggestion. Next time you're reading a book, put classical music in the background, just enough to open up the right side of your brain, and it'll increase your long-term memory or the reading comprehension. No words. Classical music is the best, but jazz works too. But no words. The key is no words. The words will open up the left side or your logical side of the brain. Make sense? If you ever get stuck as you're going through your lives, your businesses, etc., grab a different colored pen. Just the different change in color changes your brain makeup and actually makes creativity. So I usually carry 5 or 6 different pens around with me. Now we're going to have a little fun. Is that okay? Yes. I'd like you to look at the following and call out the word, okay? Ready? Go. Pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like you to do the same thing, but to call out the color, not the word, okay? Ready? Go. We're mixing right brain, left brain. So it creates confusion. It gets very difficult. When we start talking about time management, this really comes into play. Because if you read this 3 or 4 times, all you'll see is the colors and you'll stop seeing the words. We've moved into a different mind share, or a different brain share. But if you go back and forth, it was hard. It took a lot of energy, didn't it? Mm-hmm. This is the same thing that happens in our calendaring system, when you're switched from one brain function to another. And as you're going through, we'll be talking about that more. But now our brains are nice and confused, we can learn. So this is called the identity iceberg. Our actions, behavior, and decisions are actually results. You can't change your behavior or your actions or your decisions because they're based on our skills, beliefs, values, identity, and or environment. So given the same information, you'll make the same decision every time. So of the skills, beliefs, values, identity, and environment, which of these are easiest to change? The skills can be changed. That's what we're here for today. So to give ourselves some new skills. I hear environment a lot too. Okay, to be open to new things. When we say or think, I know, what happens? Your subconscious mind says, I already know that. Steel door comes down, everything starts bouncing off. Yeah. So instead of saying or thinking, I know, why don't we try this? Ready? Isn't that
interesting?
And you can actually feel your brain open up versus, I know. So an above and below the line. When we are above the line, we take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for everything that happens in our business and our lives. Or blame, it's Jimmy's fault. Excuses, it's the economy. Or denial, which means don't even know I am lying to myself. Just stay in bed. And we can help each other with this, because we all get below the line once in a while. How many of you want your clients to change and buy from you? D times V plus F must be greater than R. D, if somebody's not dissatisfied with where they're currently at, they're not going to change. This is a key factor. If they don't have a strong enough vision of where they want to go, they're not going to change. They have to be willing to take the first step, which is talking to you, and that must be greater than the resistance to change. And who's resistant to change? Everybody, everything. It's Newton's law. A body in motion will stay in motion, a body at rest will stay at rest, unless affected by a greater force, right? So your clients are going to want to stay doing what they're doing unless we can paint the dissatisfaction and paint the vision. So this is a key success factor in sales. If there is no dissatisfaction, run away. If you're going to lose, lose fast. How many of you have written goals? Written goals are such a reticular activation system. This is your roadmap for the future. So here's some interesting numbers. 70% of people have no written or verbal goals. 27% have verbal goals. Only 3% have written goals. Here's the interesting part. 98% of the wealth resides in the 3% that have written goals. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you get there, but I'll guarantee you the odds get a whole lot better, don't they? So if you don't have written goals, take a couple of minutes and jot them down and ensure that they're smart. Specific, measurable, achievable, results-oriented with a time frame. Smart goals. Welcome to question-based selling. Even professional salespeople find making sales a challenge. But it doesn't have to be that way when we know how. Sales process made simple. So let's go back to basics. What exactly is selling? By definition, professionally helping other people to buy. Now here's my definition. Educating a potential client enough so they can make a conscious decision on whether your product or service will improve their business or life. So we're no longer salespeople, we're educators. Is your product right for everyone? No. It's finding the one it is right for, presenting it, and make sure it improves their business or life. And that's what we do. We improve people's business and life. Now, what does professional salespeople do? If you're not sitting in front of a camera or a mirror and practicing, we're not going to get any better. We record ourselves, we videotape ourselves, and we role play. Role playing is one of the most powerful things you can do. It's okay to have fun when you're doing role plays. This is the fun part about it. It's much better to mess up out here when you're with your colleagues than when you're in front of a client losing a $100,000 deal. You know, we're in Silicon Valley, more engineers per capita than anywhere else in the world. What are sales decisions based on? Logic or emotion? 80% emotion. We use our logic to justify our emotions. So if we're not touching emotions, we're going to have a hard time selling. To get through the sales process, if we don't get someone's attention, nothing else matters, right? Because it stopped. So we got to get their attention, their interest, a desire to take action, and a strong call to action. 73% of the purchasing decisions are based on attention and a call to action. Everything we put out from a sales and marketing standpoint has got to get their attention and have a call to action. If it doesn't have a call to action, it's a waste of time. So great salespeople have a what? A purpose. It's about the prospect. If we can't help them improve their business or life, we haven't earned the right to talk to them. Our services help businesses substantially. So who controls this conversation? The person talking or the person asking the questions? What kind of car do you drive? I can take the conversation anywhere I want to go. What kind of car? How many miles? I can walk the conversation anywhere. We have that also. We can walk the customer through the conversation. And that's the key here. Have the prospect do the selling for you. So when we ask the right questions and they come up with the answer, we don't sell at all. We just ask the right questions. So it's like this. We ask a question, they'll give us an answer. We ask a question, they give an answer. We ask a question, they'll give an answer. We ask a question, they'll give an answer. Sooner or later, they will ask a question. And when they do, we have the sale. It's ours to lose because we've engaged them. So I'll give you a little example, if that's okay. So I was working with this tire company, and I met with the CEO, and I said, so what's your conversion rate? And he's, My conversion rate's 90%. My salespeople are top notch. I'm like, fantastic. Why don't we measure it for 1 week and see what it is? So next week I came in and said, so Jim, what do you feel like expressing? And he's sitting in his chair, his arms folded, going, I'm not happy. I got my conversion rate back. It's 8%. What do you feel like expressing? And I went, that's fantastic. That's the best news I've heard all week. It's like, what are you talking about? I said, it's simple. I can double 8%. I can't double 90. He's like, oh. I said, that's right. Just imagine what's going to happen to your business when we change this. It's like, oh. So what was happening is people that were walking in the door, he actually had a pretty close to 90% conversion rate. But it was all the phone calls that he was losing. So here's what was happening. Somebody would call up and say, hey, can I get a price on a Firestone XYZ radio, 15-inch, blah, 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 blah. And they'd say, sure, hold on. $349, thank you, you're welcome, goodbye. Familiar, right? So we changed the script to something like this. Hi, this is XYZ Tire Company. Can I get your name, just in case we get cut off? Yes, Jill. And your phone number, and your email, so we can send you a gift certificate just for calling in today. Wow, really? My email is blah, 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 blah. Now we've captured their contact information, so we can market to them as we go in the future. So are you calling in about tires or something else today? I just want a price on a Firestone, blah, 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 radial tire, blah, blah, blah. No problem. We'll get that right for you, but can I ask you just a couple of questions? Sure. And what kind of car do you drive? A Mitsubishi. And about how many miles a year do you drive? Oh, about 25,000. And do you drive fast or slow? Why are you asking me all these questions? Well, sir, we just want to make sure we're recommending the best tire for your specific situation. This will only take a couple of minutes. Okay, I drive fast. And do you drive in the city or the country? Well, mostly the city. And when you go on vacation, do you go to the mountains or the beach? What does that have to do with anything? Well, if you go to the mountains, we want to make sure it's a tire that can handle the snow and the ice. And if you go to the beach, we want one that can handle the high temperatures. And if you do both, we want a wide spectrum tire. Oh, I never thought about that. That's okay. That's why we're here. And do you have kids? Well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, if you have kids less than 8 years of age, we raise the safety rating on the tire. Or if you don't, we don't necessarily do that. Well, I want the higher safety rated tire. No problem, sir. We'll get that for you. Hang on a second. Let me check the price. We do have those in stock, and we're going to recommend the Firestone 486 radial tire. And that looks like it is $429. And now, what tire did you want us to check on, sir? The Firestone blah blah. Okay. That one's $329. So you do save some money on that one, but this is the tire we recommend. And if you'd like, you can use that gift certificate when you come in. What would you like to do, sir? Well, I want the tire that you recommend. Fantastic, sir. We do have those in stock, and if you come in tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we can get you in and out of here in 20 minutes. Well, I'm busy tomorrow. How about Thursday? Thursday at 2? Yeah, Thursday at 2. Okay, hold on. Hey, Jim, we got a special customer. Can we get him in here at 2 o'clock? Okay, sir. If you give me your credit card, I can have the tires pulled, balanced, and ready to go. Get you in here and out of here at 2 o'clock on Thursday. You're all set. Can I get your credit card, please? See the difference? Yeah. Now, the conversion rate never did go up to 90%, by the way. It reached a peak of about 27% and then dropped down to 24% and kind of bounced back and forth there. But what a difference. The business almost tripled from the phone call business. Now this traffic indoor didn't change, right? Powerful, right? So we used to teach this model, and you probably are familiar with this if you've been through any sales training. You build rapport. You match and mirror their facial expressions, their tone, their tonality, any mannerisms they have. Match and mirror, don't mimic. And then you sell blah, 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 blah. Or as I say, you puke all over them. And then you follow up until they get so tired of hearing from you, they buy. We're going to get rid of this. The new model goes like this. We ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are the key to this. Most salespeople don't ask the open-ended questions. What's your overall marketing budget? What strategies are working the best? How do you see videos tying into your different marketing strategies? These are the ones that catch your emotion. What do you want your business to look like? What direction is going? And then specific questions. Now, most salespeople are good at these. What's your budget? When do you want to start implementing these services? How many videos would you like? Have you storyboarded your videos yet? Where do you plan on using them? Do you want reuse capabilities? Do you already have actors? Are you going to shoot it? Do you want to be involved yourself, or do you want us to bring on actresses? Have you thought about animation? How about if we storyboard this for you? And then the solution. And it says solutions. So you need at least 3. So what would a solution look like? Well, Christine, based on what you've told me, I think the silver video package would work out best for you. And we'll do some storyboard, we'll storyboard it for you, and then we'll use some animation here, here, and here. Or the gold package, or whatever kind of bundles we want to put together. Depending on their personality type is depending on how we'll position this. And then take their temperature. Is that what you had in mind? How does that feel to you? Is that what you were looking for? How does that sound to you? Can you see how we'd implement this? And then detail. Okay, for us to get started, let's get your credit card on file. That's the easiest one. Okay, for us to get started, let's get your credit card on file. Or another one. For us to hit your timeline, we need to start up straight away. Let's get your credit card on file so we don't slow down the process. So, who, what, where, when, why, how. Play dumb and dig deep. You don't necessarily need to play dumb, but just dig deep. So when we do this, the system starts expediting for us. I want us to use a different cycle than this one. Okay, and this is a 5-step questioning cycle. Okay, so I want you to ask a question. No matter what they say, you make it okay. Because whatever they say, it's their reality. So how much did you spend on your last videos? $17 million. That's okay. We're probably going to put a little less budget in than that one, okay? But whatever they say, make it okay. And then quote a story or statistic. Okay? So question, story or statistic. Get rid of this one. Question, make it okay, story or statistic. Yeah, you know, about 50% of the people that come in here say they spent $17 million. Or say they've spent too much money. Or reminds me of a time that we had this one client that wanted all of this stuff done, and when we started putting it all together, it just didn't make sense for them. So we're going to make sure whatever we do makes sense for you. Okay? So, question, make it okay, story or statistic, label or solution. So a label or solution would be, oh yeah, sounds like we need to storyboard that. That could be a solution or a label. Oh, it sounds like that we might want the gold package. And then take a note, next question. Now when they start diving or probing you on that solution that you talked about, you say, well, let me ask you another question, and I'll just take a note on that. Don't let them dive into the solution at this space and time. We're still going through the questioning process. So it goes like this. You ask a question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. As soon as they ask you a question, you have the sale. It's yours to lose because we've engaged them. Practicing these questions so that it feels natural and practicing with different personality styles is the key here. And it goes just like that, open-ended, specific, dive into the detail. Recommend a solution. How does that feel to you? Next. Make sense? You can't just start asking somebody questions because you start rapid firing them questions, they're going to go in backup mode. So you want to ask the permission. Can I just ask you a couple of questions? Or, by the way, or incidentally. I personally like, can I just ask you a couple questions, help me understand where we're at? It's non-threatening, and you open the door to ask the questions. After you get the order, shut up. Do not keep asking questions. For us, where we're at today in this business, you get the order, you shut up, you schedule another meeting. Do not keep talking. You're going to talk yourself out of a deal. Okay? You get the order, you get the credit card, you schedule another appointment. End. After every question, listen attentively and give out positive strokes. I'm going to give you the secret, magic 2 words, probably the most powerful 2 words there are in the world. Are you guys ready? That's right. It's a positive stroke. It makes people feel good. And you're not saying they're right or they're wrong. That's right, because whatever they're saying, they're probably right in their mind. It's okay. That's right. Question, make it okay. Story or statistic, label or solution. Take a note. Next question. While you're asking the questions, give out little pieces of information and talk in the prospect's language. Because everyone has a different learning style. And we communicate in that learning style. We communicate in a way that resonates with them. If you hear what I'm saying. Or do you see what I mean? Or can you feel that? Everyone's different, and we're going to learn how to identify those different areas and speak in the prospect's language. Another technique is active listening. So you repeat back an answer that they gave you. So if I heard you right and you paraphrase, use their words as you're having the dialogue and continuing forward. It means that you're listening. Okay, so pick out a couple of phrases. Everyone's a little unique and has their own phrases that they like. Utilize that back into the dialogue. Always remember, it's about them. What's in it for them? So I'm going to give you a technique that actually got me to the President's Club in a little company called Hewlett-Packard, or I believe this did. You ready? Imagine that I've got a tattoo on my forehead, WIIFM, in this color. Okay, now I want you to look at me and imagine I've got that tattoo. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to smile because I got a tattoo on my forehead. Right? You've got to smile. I mean, if you imagine it and you think about it, you've got to smile because you got a tattoo on your forehead. And it also puts in your brain set that it's about your client, not about your product or service. And if we can't help them improve their business or life, we shouldn't be there. And it's okay. We don't know that until we start asking the questions. Once you've gathered enough information, based on what you've told me, Christine, either X or Y solution would suit you best. This is for the high Ds. They want a choice. Okay? The high I personality styles are going to want, hey, we're going to make it real easy for you. It's going to be fun. You just sign the bottom line. The high S personality styles don't want change. They don't want to rock the boat. So that is, hey, this isn't going to change much. We're just going to evolve the business a little bit. We're going to start utilizing this. It's going to make things easier for you. And the high C personality styles want the numbers. And you have to go step by step through those numbers with them. Okay? People are going to be attracted to their own personality style. So know yours, know who you're attracted to, and be able to identify the other personality styles and align with them. So once the solution is offered, check the prospect's temperature and ask a detailed question. That could be, how does that fit with what you had in mind? Or which one best fits with what you had in mind? Assume the sale. If you've gone this far, they probably want to buy from you. We've got to give them a reason to buy. This is where we utilize things like the profit improvement proposal. So based on what you've told me, we better get started right now. Or straight away, or we should have gotten started 2 weeks ago, but we'll make it up. One of my favorites is, we should have gotten started 2 weeks ago. If you want to hit that March 31st deadline, we should have started 2 weeks ago. If you want to hit that May 30th deadline, Well, we should have started about a week ago. There are only two objections, money and time. With our services, we should be selling how they're going to make more money by investing with us. Typically, your target client, if you get them just a 5% increase in their analytics to visiting their website, it changes their business. And you can start looking at that. What does it do? How much does this change? What are your current website hits? If we increase and do a video on your front page, what's going to happen here? And you can start playing with those numbers and see if it makes sense for them. This is powerful. Or if you're doing a training video, how long does it currently take you to train somebody? If we do this, how much is it going to reduce your time? How many people do you hire a year? All of a sudden you can do a cost justification where it makes sense. Well, they will make money by hiring our services. That's a key success factor. No time? Well, that's exactly why you want us to do this, because you have no time. You'll get a little bit of time investing to help us create the video. After that, it's created and you can use it over and over and over and over again. So one of the best utilization of your time is creating videos. So these two, we have to be able, because there will be the money objection. Well, I can get it done cheaper. Yes, you can. You can go buy a GoPro for about $350 and do it yourself. Good luck. Or if you want a professional video, buy the Milpitas, best video production company in Milpitas. You'll talk to us. We didn't get that award overnight. It took years and years. So after you hear an objection, what I want you to do is do a tie down. Now these are used a lot in the car industry. Besides that reason, is there any other reason we wouldn't move forward today? Okay, that's the tie down. So you want to make sure that we nail down all the objections before moving forward. So for example, so you need to get your wife's approval. Okay, besides getting your wife's approval, is there any other reason we wouldn't move forward today? You need to talk to your CFO. Okay, besides your wife and your CFO, is there any other reason we wouldn't move ahead today? Yes, you have to rearrange your sock drawer. Okay. Besides rearranging your sock drawer, getting your wife's permission to get the CFO permission, is there any other reason we shouldn't move ahead today? And then let's dive into each one of those and try to address those objections. Some of those may be a hidden objection, and they just don't want to buy from you, and that's okay too. If they don't want to buy from you, it's okay. Thank you for their time and move on. Only about 3% of the people you talk to are going to buy from you today. So if yes, are they willing to invest some time to look at that specific reason? If they say, let me think about it, you'll probably hear that one a lot. No problem, but may I ask you a question? Sure. What specifically do you need to think about? Because you've got me here, I can answer your questions. If you leave and think about it, I'm not here. So what specifically do you need to think about? They probably won't have an answer, and you might put them in backup mode. If you do say, oh, it's okay, let's get together and schedule another appointment. Never leave without scheduling another appointment, unless they tell you you're done, which is okay too. Either way is fine. If they do agree to move forward, okay, here's what's involved in getting the purchasing to your solution, which is, let's get your credit card on file. It is that simple. Let's get the paperwork out of the way is another way, and we've got some standard contracts that are set up. Let's get the paperwork out of the way, or let's get your credit card on file. We don't want to do purchase orders or anything else. You could say, okay, do you want to shoot here or in our office? That would be another great close. Or open, because we're not closing the deal, we're opening the relationship. Let's shoot this video, and then we can do one every month. Okay, here's how we get started. We're going to get your credit card on file. We're going to do the storyboard. We're going to come out. We're going to do a half-a-day shoot. We're going to put through the editings. We'll let you have a dry run. We'll have it all set up for this target date. That's typically for a business video what you had. If it's a wedding or something else, there's a slightly different process. But we'll go through those process steps. And then The hardest part for any salesperson. So let's get your credit card on file, okay? How long was that? About a minute? It feels like forever, doesn't it?
Yes.
It takes practice. And I usually have, that's what I was looking for, an ink pen to hand them so they open themselves up. Or hand them something. Okay, let's get started. Here's even a piece of paper contract, or let's get your credit card. Because at that time they'll start typically crunching up a little bit. You watch their nonverbals. Open up by handing them something. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next event.